welcome to the channel. I'm Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. Saying 29, Proverbs 23, sayings 19, sorry. Saying 19, Proverbs 23, 29. Pretty impacting sort of proverb this. It might confront a few people, but if it helps you to grow, that's what it's about. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? What is your woe? What is your sorrow? Right now, what is your woe? If you have a woe, what is it? Have you thought about it? Have you thought about resolving what your woes are? Have you thought about resolving the woe of your debt? Have you thought about resolving the woe of your addictions, your alcoholism? Have you thought about resolving the woe of your relationship? Have you thought about resolving the woes with your cars? Have you thought about resolving the woe with the rent? What is your woe? What is your woe really? Have you thought about resolving your woe with your children? Because if you don't sort the woe, you're not going to get rid of the sorrow. Alright? Who has contention? What are your contentions? Honestly, I have contentions in a relationship. I'll give it time. I'll show patience. If it comes to a head and it's a silly form of resolve and it's just not rational and all this, I'll let it go. I'm not going to have contentions. I'm not going to have complaints. I'm definitely not going to have needless wounds. And I'm definitely not going to have bloodshot eyes. But these are the ones that do have contentions, complaints, needless wounds. Needless wounds. This is why people have woe and sorrow, because they're bringing needless wounds upon themselves. Who has bloodshot eyes? Those who linger over their wine. These are the drug addicts, the wine people, the alcoholics, the substance abusers, the medication users. That's these people. So before you start your addiction, realize that you're going to have woe, you're going to have sorrow, you're going to have contentions, you're going to have complaints, you're going to have needless wounds, and it's all going to show because you're going to have bloodless eyes, bloodshot eyes. I've had girlfriends come over here with bloodshot eyes, and I've known straight away. They're not mirroring the benefit of the relationship. They're just living for themselves, for their problems. And I've had them say, oh, she was this and she was that, and they're the same themselves. And it's those who are addicted. It's those who are addicted to their substances, be it medications, be it alcohol, be it devil's lettuce, be it recreational drugs and all these synthetic things that are killing people now. A drug addict just killed a man on a motorbike here where we live, dragged him 200 metres under the car, up a gutter and through a boundary fence. My daughter, who was at the scene as a police officer, said it's the worst thing you've ever seen, Dad, and it's drug related again. You can take your drugs and don't ask me for sympathy. No, because this is where it's going to end for you and the people around you. It's going to end in woe. I don't care who you are or how peaceful you want to make it look and sound. No. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Okay, you people, you're going to have woe. You're going to have sorrow. You're going to have contentions. You're going to have complaints. You're going to have needless wounds. You're causing wounds that don't even need to be there. This is the mentality of these people. And on the other hand, none of this needs to be there. It's the drugs and things that's bringing it to you. It's the alcohol. It's the other stuff. You're going to have woe, sorrow, contention. These are the promises that you're making for yourself. You're going to have complaints. You're going to have needless wounds. You're going to have bloodshot eyes. Because your mindset is in pursuing your addiction. Okay? You're lingering over it and you're mixing it all. You're mixing it with things. You're mixing it up with stuff. You have no problem with that. And you're besotted with it. You're smitten by it. You gaze. You sit there in a gaze with bong in hand, with bottle in hand, with tablet packet in hand, gazing, just blank. Just a gaze blank. Lie there in a gaze, just thinking about how wonderful it is and how great the effect is, but then you forget the result: woe, sorrow, contentions, complaints, needless wound, needless wounds. And it's all evident in the eyes. The eyes are the window of the soul. But that's where your gaze is. You're gazing, your vision is in the wrong place. You've allowed your psyche to form a vision that's completely in the wrong direction. How would you like to set your children up to have woe, sorrow, contention, complaints, and needless wounds, and it's all seen in their eyes? I've had these young people ruin relationships on me, and their mothers have let them. And you look at them and they're just zombies. They've been pedestalized, they've been enmeshed, they've been groomed to be dependent, they've been abused by their parents. And they linger around, waiting for the next hit on the drugs or next drink. And they gaze. If they have got none and say the parents got some, can I have some of yours? And they got this gaze into each other's eyes. Okay, yeah, okay. And they think it's all sparkly and wonderful and how smooth it is. This is the way. And they don't know. They're so ignorant and stupid that they're becoming demonized. It just bites like a snake. No different to walking up to the devil and saying, here, do what you will with me. Do what you will. And that's the attitude of a lot of these women. I've gone on dates. I wouldn't know these people from a bar of soap. An hour later, they're naked in front of you. I don't know these people. No. We're living in a world of vipers. They're bloodsuckers. They're going around trying to get everyone's energy and supply. And they're taking the cheap way. They're living a life of contention, complaint. They've got needless wounds and bloodshot eyes. They linger around. They just graze around each other, gazing at each other. How sparkling it all is. It's a world of zombies. And it comes with a consequence. In the end, it bites like a snake. It's toxic. It's toxic and stings. The mind stinging. All the stuff and consequences that come with it. Then you start to get your illusions, right? I've watched these addicts and alcoholics. They start to lose their psychological supply, which they don't deserve because they're psychologically destroying themselves with their habits. And if you come along and you're psychologically right, they'll oppose you. They'll make up stories, and I've seen these male adults do it with the parents standing there, and the parents just nothing. They just don't do anything because they're in a gaze. But see, their bond, their enmeshment is with their, it's associated with their medications and drugs. They're living an illusion. They're seeing strange things with their eyes. And their mind is, see, what comes out of the mouth is what's in the mind. If the mind's perverse, that means that the alcoholics and the drug addicts, they are sexually vulnerable. They are open to anything. Same sex, threesomes, orgies. If they're stoned enough or drunk enough and the moment's right, they're in for it. Don't be fooled. Don't let the book fool you by the cover. All these things it's telling you and warning you about. Woe, sorrow, contentions, complaints, needless wounds, evident in the eyes. The eyes are the windows to the soul. They'll linger around if they're getting their supply. They'll mix it to get more of an effect. They'll gaze over it and grandiose it and make out how wonderful and sparkly it is and how easily it goes down. This is good stuff, this. But they know in the back of their mind the consequences. They know in the back of their mind what they're doing to themselves. And they know in the back of their mind they're living an hallucination. And they're just going to do whatever they can to get supply, sexual supply, whatever other supply they need. But their life's no different to a mast, somebody being on the top of a mast in the high seas, who's being corrected, right? They're being struck by revelation. I can change this, you should change this. This alcoholism, this addiction, this reckless sex, these diseases you're getting and spreading, the illnesses you're bringing on yourself, they're being struck. They're being struck with revelation. But they don't think they need it. They're being beaten with go this way, go down the narrow path. But they don't think they need to. They just don't think they need to. They just stay on their path of destruction. I've seen dozens of these people die before their time, get sick, die young. They think they're invincible. And when they come out of it, and I've had this, and it gives you the shits. You'll have a girl and you'll get her all right, and then all of a sudden they're back to where they started. When can I wake up and search for more of my whatever the addiction is? If that doesn't explain it, I'll give the game away. I'm Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, Theologist, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. Thank you for joining me, and bye for now.